The rain had a strange way of cleansing Dhaka's dust-choked air. On most days, it felt like a nuisance, but today, it mirrored Maya's grief. She stood by the hospital window, her white coat soaked through. Her hands trembled slightly as she clutched a file marked Maya Hassan urgent. Inside were test results she could barely read, not because she didn't understand them, but because understanding them meant accepting something she couldn't bear. Her younger brother, only 11 years old, diagnosed with a rare degenerative blood disorder. And she was a second-year medical student who couldn't save him. "I'm sorry," the senior doctor had told her gently, "you should prepare your family." How does one prepare to watch the brightest smile in the house fade into silence? Maya had always been the dependable one. Her father passed away in a factory accident when she was 12, and her mother had spent years battling depression. Maya became the surrogate parent, waking up early to cook, walking Armin to school, and studying late into the night to fulfill the dream her father once whispered into her ears, "You'll be a doctor one day, Maya." The first in our family. She never allowed herself to cry. Not when her friends wore beautiful saris to weddings while she wore hand-me-downs. Not when her mother forgot her birthday. Not even when Armin had fainted on the street 3 months ago, triggering the nightmare that now consumed her. 2 weeks after the diagnosis, Maya made a decision. She dropped out. When she handed in her withdrawal form, the clerk looked up in disbelief. "You were one of our top 5 students." She nodded silently. The real reason wasn't that she couldn't juggle both, studies and caregiving. It was the bills. Treatment for Armin's condition wasn't available at the government hospitals. The private clinics charged more than her mother's yearly earnings as a school cleaner. Maya found work at a small pharmacy near Gulshan. Long hours, little pay, but she could bring leftover medicine home when patients didn't show up. One rainy evening, while waiting for her shift to end, a familiar voice startled her. "Maya?" She turned. There stood Samir Rahman. She hadn't seen him since their first-year anatomy class, charismatic, driven, from a wealthy family. Rumor had it he dropped out after his brother committed suicide. "Samir," she said cautiously. "Didn't expect to see you here." He smiled faintly. "I'm volunteering with an NGO now, Free Aid Dhaka. We provide mobile care to underprivileged families." They exchanged small talk, then silence. "Still in med school?" he asked. She hesitated. "No. I had to quit." The honesty surprised her. She hadn't told even her closest friends. He didn't ask why. Instead, he offered her a small card. "Come to the clinic someday. Maybe we can help." She didn't go. Not for days. But then Armin had another seizure. This time worse. The hospital demanded an upfront payment she didn't have. With no other option, she dug out the card and visited Free Aid Dhaka. Samir greeted her like a friend. She explained everything, her financial situation, Armin's condition, her withdrawal from university. As she spoke, her voice cracked for the first time in years. Samir didn't pity her. He listened. Then he said something that would change everything: "We'll take his case pro bono." Over the next 3 months, Armin began receiving consistent treatment. It wasn't a miracle, his condition was still serious, but the episodes became less frequent. Maya resumed studying in secret, borrowing textbooks, listening to recorded lectures on her cracked phone while doing chores. She couldn't afford tuition, but she refused to let go of the dream entirely. And Samir. He became a constant. He visited often, sometimes to check on Armin, sometimes just to talk. He told her about his brother, how he'd struggled with mental illness, how Samir had blamed himself. They became each other's quiet anchor. One afternoon, while preparing dal in their tiny kitchen, Maya found her mother quietly observing her. "You love him," her mother said, her voice low but sure. Maya paused. "Who?" "The doctor boy." Maya said nothing. Her mother chuckled sadly. "It's okay to want happiness, Maya. Even if the world taught you to live without it. But happiness, Maya had learned, often comes with thorns." News came that Samir had been offered a permanent position abroad, an advanced fellowship in hematology in London. It was a dream offer. "I haven't decided yet," he said when she asked. She looked at him sharply. "You have to go." He stepped closer. "What if I don't want to leave?" "You?" Tears welled up in her eyes. "Don't stay for me." "I'm staying for us." She shook her head. "There is no us." His voice broke. "Why are you pushing me away?" "Because I can't afford to hold on to anything that isn't guaranteed." He looked at her for a long moment. "You're wrong. Not everything worth fighting for comes with guarantees." Samir left 2 weeks later. She didn't say goodbye. He left a letter with Armin. "You saved your brother, Maya. Let someone save you too, someday. I'll be waiting. S." A year passed. Armin's condition stabilized enough for him to attend school again. Maya, with the help of a scholarship from Free Aid Dhaka, re-enrolled in medical school. The sun had begun to shine again, though she still flinched every time it rained. Then one morning, while checking her mailbox outside the hostel, she found a letter with a UK stamp. Inside was a small card. A one-way ticket to London. A note that read, "There's a seat for you here, in the lab, in my life, in every story we haven't lived yet." And for the first time in many years, Maya allowed herself to cry, not from grief, but from the overwhelming relief of being seen, loved, and finally free.